What you think about Indigenous on there?
I like to thank how long you how about Jimmy I was shot. Sector refiners. We out here day, week in and week out, letting our black Latinos and Native Americans know you're the true people of the Bible. So yeah, you said it's the Little Rock.
Little Rock now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, let me see what else I'm looking at.
Right. You from Little Rock.
Originally, I'm from Louisiana, but I grew up in Arkansas, but I stayed in Little Rock too.
Okay, okay.
I just know history. I know a little bit about history. That's one of my favorite subjects.
Brother. So Little Rock, they didn't. I remember watching that old
Gang
Little
Bang
Rock.
Yeah,
Banging
Gang
Little Rock. Hey, look at that. Wilding out. They took everything from the West Coast over there.
Crip Mo.
Okay.
He the one about Crip to Arkansas.
Arkansas?
Yeah, Crip Mo. He did a lot of time in Arkansas too. I just did 18 years there.
Oh, you did? I'm gonna be the state.
Yeah, state time.
So let me get there.
My wife, she got guarding to me. Real? We've been together for 7 years.
How long was you? What was you down for?
A chicken murder.
Okay, okay.
I know that was
A Muslim said he was my life. He came, I saw that 4 times, 4, 5, 9, 10, got bad.
Let me ask this. You know, it's part of like on this side of the map, it's segregated when you get. What about on that side?
In Arkansas, it's no just woods, cities.
Okay.
You know,
You know what I'm saying? Because
we get along with down there. Like when I came here, that's more bullshit I ever heard. You're not getting along with the Latinos. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
right.
I come out here, man. They don't fuck with them. What the fuck? Like, we don't get along with the Aryans. We don't fuck with the Aryans.
Yeah, right.
Some of them.
That's understandable.
Some of them, but majority of them now.
Brown is together more up here in Arkansas.
Oh, my partner was he was MS13, his name was Jupiter. That nigga was crazy. But I fuck with all like all of them back on.
Let me read you something. So we are letting our people know that you're the true people of the Bible. All right, our blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, so let me read you something that might resonate with us. Go ahead, get that, brother.
This is Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, restore.
So right there is just saying that we've been downtrodden. Okay, let's see how
So the
well, there's no religion. We just say it's a culture. This Bible is telling you about a certain type of people. Go ahead. This book is telling you about a certain type of people and how we operate. So when you read this book, you can read about a whole lot of different cultures in here. But the main thing is the Israelites in here.
as far as the Bible. No, I mean, it's a high power, but I believe that was just some brainwash shit for the white folks to brainwash people and straight up. It's a how some shit put out there to brainwash. Because there's a lot of shit that's schools because no, they would. It's nothing up in the Bible that ain't ever happened to you. They say happy. They say he was white. But hey, they say that's his story. They say
It's on his left hand.
So they'll say one thing and do another. They'll convict you for attempted murder, but they'll actually murder. Yeah, and if you they lost. This is their law. It's a double standard. So what I'm saying is, book. You gotta remember, before we knew about white supremacy per se, they didn't have control of this book until we messed up.
I don't know the history. Like I said, I just feel like it was something the white folks made it to control Because like back then, like if you watch a lot of slave movies and shit, all you hear, Lord, this and Lord, that, but it was something that history will be doing. Because if I'm not mistaken, if blacks was still over there, our religion would be it would be something.
Say something, Kashak.
Voodoo is the bad. Hoodoo is good if I ain't mistaken.
Look, you said you like history, right?
Yeah.
So what was we doing as a people before? You said they all. That's where they seem to start our history. Like you know where we was before that. We was on the west coast of Africa. Before we got on the west coast of Africa, we made a long journey. We're going to places called Jerusalem or Israel. Okay, and that happened in 70 AD. Rome had sacked. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Rome had conquered. It was already conquered. They pillaged Jerusalem. 70 or 69. 70.
Yeah.
40 had died. Romans went through there, just let everybody have it. So we fled. We fled in every direction. Let me get that in Jeremiah. I'll just put it on.
Wait, clip it on your thing.
I think it's 16:3. So what happened was we had to flee. This is history. This is not just biblical history. You could actually pick up some other like Roman scholars.
Let me move right.
Yeah. I know it's over there. So what y'all see right here, they smoking so hard of narcotics. His brother had his baby, he can't even listen to the word. So at least they had a
Decency.
decency, yeah, to say, hey, who the baby? You know? So they so high on everything. Okay. They on that Bobby Brown, the Whitney Houston, the James Brown. But anyways, back to what I was gonna say, brother. Hopefully he'll come back. But I was gonna get into the history that we ended up. We just didn't end up starting with slavery. That's what a lot of times in America they'll start our history with slavery with us black folks. Even with the natives so much, they'll start their history is when so-called the pilgrims came. Christopher Columbus, it's always history always starts when certain people other than white folks is when they come in. That's when it starts. But we've been doing things before they even came. But that just shows you how white supremacy works. It even have you believing that's how our history started.
Let's see Revelation 7.
To the point where we think it's so bad, we think our history started in on a slave ship somewhere on the west coast of Africa. We was doing things Timbuktu
Patriot Act was presented.
all the way through the
Can't actually
through the Sahara until we made Jerusalem. I'm just reversing.
for the judge.
So
I'm living in what?
let me
Let y'all know. And just like it read once already.
is something you gonna bring out?
No, I was talking about how if you were to convert to
The Hebrews converted to Islam?
Islam,
That's all good.
Islamic, so whether it's radical Muslim or not, in America, unfortunately, if someone is determined to have Muslim or Islamic background, they can invoke the Patriot Act, which is 24-hour surveillance without a search warrant.
That's 9/11, man. You went from
No, but I'm saying that law is still in that it's still in effect. That's what's fucked up. No other religion is like that. No other religion is on that list.
I believe
I'm saying it's kind of fucked up, though, that's all.
Okay.
Like, what would your take on on that kind of be? Like, how would you go about like trying to get that off of the Patriot Act? Like, how would you go about?
I ain't gonna do nothing. This ain't my government.
Right.
So I'm not gonna do anything. It's
Nobody is your country.
Is it? Or am I just a citizen?
How would you? What could the government do for where you would feel?
Get it out. Let me help you.
No.
To feel welcome, to feel loved, accepted, to be a part of something.
Not only that, but to be heard, to where to where your beliefs, your mindset is not only validated but
Well, okay, let's put it this way. All right. I'm gonna take you back one generation to the living right now. My mom and my dad, right? They live right now. All right.
baby boomers, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So in their time, they was around where you had separate water fountains.
For some of the country, yes.
Correct.
I'm just saying there is that.
No, you're right. You're correct. For some of the country, not the whole country.
Yeah,
But even then, you still had some form of discrimination.
Yeah.
You know.
Jim Crow laws and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, I understand.
So when you asking me about this being my country, is it?
But are we still that country?
Yeah, but is it?
No, but are we still? Does it still? But I know, but is there still a sign above water fountains? Do you still feel that the racism has gotten more blatant, or has it become more undertone of racism to where it's now no longer spoken or no longer expressed? But you can feel it.
It's the same. It's just changed. It's the same.
A white guy just called us niggers last night.
Okay, all right.
Last night. Yeah.
Do you think it's more? Do you think it's become more financial than public? Like, in what form do you still believe that the
It's
undertone of
in
racism?
everything. It's in everything. So if you go into the medical field, obviously you know you have a higher rate of mortality dealing with births of colored women than anybody else. So we go there. We go in the medical field along with other procedures and
Yes.
tests being done on people of color.
Well, okay, yeah, it's, cesarean sections,
Yeah.
also, stillborns, fucking,
All that. That's just medical. Let's go to financial.
okay.
Now you go into financial, you heard the thing something called redlining, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so that means I couldn't buy a house in your neighborhood just based off the color of my skin. That's it.
True, but a lot of those laws have been.
They have been changed. So now it's done at the desk. It's done behind the thing. It's like, hey, that's a black dude. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think? Do you think racism has dimmed down? Do you think it's gone up, or do you think it's the same?
I think it's actually switched. I think become modern day like systemic racism. I think in each class there's different races, like race. There's a upper power and a lower power fighting. And so like
You're talking about like tiers within financial availability.
yeah, like okay, like upper. Everyone thinks of upper class is what? You got a white guy with a yacht or something like that. Like I'm just saying, like upper echelon, like the big higher ups, right?
Yeah.
So there's that misconception. There's a misconception, right?
Is it?
No, you are right. There's a large percentage of the wealthy are Caucasian. I don't say Caucasian. I say pigment challenged.
They challenge.
You like that?
Like that, right?
Okay, thank you.
So you're saying that racism has went from being a racial thing to a financial class. So it's like classism.
I believe like more or less the undertone of it, or more or less the actual advertisement or the propaganda of it has become financial because they can't. Modern times, everyone's becoming politically correct, right? So instead of having the fucking the water fountain with a separate thing, or just the blatant and like you're not even undertone, just blatant outbursts of racism, now it's become the undertone of where are they going to what would be a racist thing of okay, black man asked for a loan, right? It's denied. Oh, what is denied? Oh, it's your credit. But you would feel like it's because well, even if the banker was Asian or something like that, but you would still feel that it was because of the color of your skin.
It is.
Yeah.
Why would I have a low credit score? What made me have a low credit score? You guys don't know.
No, I get that. Now, just showing the other foot though. White guy in the EBT office or in
Like
exactly GM. What are you doing here, man? You out of touch, man. Go back home, man. Give me probably got rich. No, I don't. No, I'm out here. Got no positivism. What I got? Oh, pretty much all I got.
Maybe they say that because shit. Go ahead.
right. So they do that on purpose. They flipped it on purpose. So it would have been too obvious if all white people were higher class. They have to toss some of y'all down there to make it seem like, oh, see, it's not about color. They just threw y'all a bunch of white people under the bus, bro, in order for it to not be about color.
Just because we like mullets and live in a trailer doesn't mean too.
What's
much.
the ratio to minority to white homeless people out here? To drug addicts. Because drugs weren't dropped into your communities. Drugs were dropped into our communities. You just wanted to tag along and, you know, hit a little peepot. You feel me?
Depending on what,
Backfired. It backfired.
depending on what drug though, because I mean, you
The CIA did that for to all of us.
Drugs were dropped in the black and brown communities, and then you were just like, hey, you know
You got
what?
caught in the crossfire.
That guy is getting high. Let me go get high with him. When you could have just stayed in your suburb. You could have just continued going.
it's all about- I think I'm clever, bro.
It's generational.
I'm talking
Generations.
General.
generation.
Yeah, I'm not Brad from suburbia, bro. I'm just letting you know, bro. To me,
Fantastic.
Dennis the Menace.
okay, but the other thing about this, think about the Heartland though. How many, in white communities or even trailer parks, how many meth labs are there?
There's a lot. You
No,
gotta
not only that, but think about I'm saying the middle class, the housewives and stuff, man. Is over pharmaceutical, like pharmaceuticals are fucking literally killing off hundreds of people, no matter what, thousands of people. Think about over amping, man.
You know why?
Creating addicts.
Yeah.
Let me
Those are white people that own it.
expound more on that. Because the Caucasian race is so cruel that they don't even care about their own. They've gone around conquering the whole world, right? They've gone around doing it to Indians, like red dot Indians,
Yeah.
those Fijians. They've done it to other white people.
East Indian.
But you know who are the people who got put in a worse situation than everybody else? Was one specific group of people who we believe are the Israelites, the black and the brown people. Okay. And I want to answer your question from what you had asked before. What can the government do in order for us to feel wanted, or for us to feel loved, or for us to feel like we have a voice?
Yeah.
You want my true honest opinion?
Yeah.
All white people go back to Europe. Leave me here with my land where me and my brothers belong, whose land this originally was. I'll accept black people because black people were forced over here. This isn't even their indigenous land. This land was given to the indigenous, or
Are you about
this
this?
land, hold on, listen. I'm talking about all the Americas. All the
From Canada to Chile.
Canada, Alaska, Canada, United States, Mexico, Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Bolivia, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Peru, all the Americas. This was indigenous land. Caucasians came over, instilled this image into us, instilled Spanish into us, and then they brought over my black brothers and sisters, instilled English on them, instilled this image on them, and they put both of us collectively at the bottom of the food chain to where now we're living in this situation. And yes, you are right. There are white people who are down in the communities with
Let me
us.
say something on that, right? Because they want to be like, all right, you want to be cool with the black people, you want to be cool with the brown people, y'all want to feel bad for them, all right, you're getting tossed along with them now.
Exactly.
That's what happened, bro.
It's Caucasian, it's Spaniard. You gotta think about
That's
that.
Europeans.
Exactly.
They're all Europeans.
It's not, it's not French. It's not Polish. I'm just saying.
They all clicked up and did it together.
If it's French or Polish, what it is that all white European people, their ancestors come from the Caucasus Mountains. It's history. Even in your guys's building structure, it shows that you guys come from those mountains. It's history, bro.
What Caucasus Mountains?
The Caucasus Mountains. That's literally what they're called.
I didn't believe
The Caucasian Mountains. I don't know exactly where they are on the map.
Petra and Jordan.
There you go. And
Yeah.
Petra and Jordan.
Mount Seir,
Yeah,
which is
Mount
Petra.
Seir.
Yeah.
That's where the Caucasian race initially expounded from. Right, so-
Eastern Europe, yes, they can.
Yes, but my point is that Spaniards,
Mhm.
the French, the British, the Eastern Europeans,
Yeah, don't let me
they
step
are
on the bridge.
the same people.
Yeah. Caucus.
No, no, no.
You were all saying.
I get that. So we've been enslaved for 700 years, but we just now finally got freedom thanks to Brexit.
Yeah.
Of 700 years, bro. There
Yeah.
used to be a law, bro, where if you got married, bro, an English nobleman had to come and take your wife before you guys said I do, and go home and fuck your wife,
Okay.
and then bring her back.
You want
And then you had to get married.
whether your statistics are right or not, if you guys just got liberated, why is it that Irish people were in charge of Berkeley? Berkeley is literally named after an Irishman who had slaves. Not only
Slave catchers are Irish.
yeah, not only that, the Irish people, they had slaves. They had Haitian slaves. They had Caribbean slaves.
Some did, but most Irish people were working class. Like, we were like the white slaves, to be honest with you, man. They're the last.
Y'all
ones-
never it was just
Yeah,
a
but
poor
Irish
class.
did
That's
not
it.
apply.
Okay, but you know what? This goes back to something that I was saying, is that the Caucasian race is so cruel that they do it to other Caucasian.
They did it to the Irish, yeah.
They did it to the Irish, yes.
But it wasn't chattel slavery. It was indentured servitude. That's the difference.
It was a huge,
It was a contract for a certain time.
like my brother is saying, indentured servitude and chattel slavery. Does that make sense?
It wasn't whips
Yeah.
and chains, bro. And field work.
No, but we were escaping famine, though. We were escaping poverty. We were escaping just like a war refugee. We were like seeking refuge from a biological weapon that
Okay.
we cannot control.
So that's what you guys were seeking, and you guys got it, right? You said you guys
First
just
time.
got liberated, right?
Yeah,
You just got
First thing-
liberated.
Yeah, but one of the
Okay.
big reasons why in the United Kingdom is Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and England,
Right?
right?
Okay.
And that makes up United Kingdom. The Union Jack, the blue, white,
Yeah,
yellow one.
I
Yes.
I understand that.
For them to Brexit because they got away, they broke away from the EU system, right? The European Union, right? No, it's very important though, because for a long time EU just covered all money.
I
Now let's
get
go
what you're saying. You're kind of going into things that I'm gonna be honest, I'm not interested in. The point that I'm trying to touch is the fact that you said you guys just got liberated, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about blacks and Hispanics? Have we been liberated? Have we received our what's it called? Reparations? But you said you got liberated.
Meaning that the laws no longer have to go through an English channel, English parliament before they can go to a house in Ireland to affect the people of Ireland.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They had to pay taxes. They had to
Beautiful.
pay.
Right. Beautiful. Okay. You're saying that, right? You're Irish. You're living here in America, and you're living the way that you are, right?
What
You want
what nationality are you, man?
I'm a true American. My people come from this land. My people are this land. Okay, but look, this is what I'm trying to say.
What tribe?
This is what I'm an Otomi.
Okay.
I'm an Otomi who spoke the language Nawu, which means we are the people in Hebrew. My ancestors go back to the Hebraic people of the Bible. My point is what I'm saying though. Listen, you're gonna jump to another topic.
No, I'm not.
But listen, my point is, Ireland got liberated from whoever was oppressing them, right? Go back to Ireland, live your life. Can I go back to Mexico and live my life? No, I can't. You know why? Because the Mexican government is still in control of white supremacy. The president of Mexico is a Jewish lady. She's not even Mexican. And the same thing with Salvador. My brother is Salvadorian. Salvador isn't even in control by their own people. If we try to go back to our own land, it doesn't work out for us. Matter of fact, I'm in my own land. And it's not working out for me. Look at all my people who are down these streets. You go down to that corner, you go down to that corner, you go down all Mission. You see a bunch of Hispanics and black people who are impoverished. Yes, I agree. We got Caucasians out here as well, right? But the thing is that the history behind your people and my people are two different things. Whether went into slavery or not, you guys didn't go into. Do you know there was still a plantation going on in Georgia maybe about 5 years ago? Are you aware of that? My people are not liberated. Plantation, but the folks were in chattel slavery, still picking whatever the case may be.
They didn't even know. They didn't even know slavery was abolished when they had them.
Come on,
Uh-huh.
the Declaration of the Proclamation is fine.
You want to go into laws? Check
No,
this out.
I'm
You,
just saying
you,
for-
you, you mentioned the Jim Crow law.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
What was the Jim Crow law?
All right.
It was a systematic way that they created to still have black folks down. You ever heard of the Quan Crow laws?
No.
It's the same thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's the Jim Crow law, and then there's also a thing. There's a thing called the Quan Crow laws, where they basically what they did to our black brothers and sisters, they went and they did it to the Hispanics and the indigenous people.
Okay. Now, have you ever looked at community college and college scholarships and grants? The comparison between people of color and Caucasians.
Okay.
The amount of scholarships and the amount of grants, the number of them.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I've never gone to a school. I've never
You know,
been to a high school.